Hi friends, it's Mona, Brock City Tumblers, and I was gonna fill some bottles tonight. Been meaning to do this for quite some time and just have not gotten around to it. So I just thought I'd finally go live and do it. Save me from having to edit the video later. So let's see if I can get the live up on my iPad. Maybe. Here we are. Alright, so if you pop on, say hi. If it's a replay, no longer live, feel free to ask questions in the comments. And I'll try to put a link to all of the stuffs that I'm using here. So I have another video where I showed these honey jars. And the link to those is in the other video, and I could try to put a little link up here later. So these are, they're supposed to be, I think, like 30-ounce honey jars, and they have a silicone little lid here, little stopper in the lid, but they really actually only hold like 22 ounces maybe. It's in the video, the exact amount. So, but they're great for putting your epoxy in. Well, they also make smaller versions. So these are the big ones, and these are the smaller ones. So I don't know exactly how much they hold. Let's see here. I didn't write that down either. But I do have, I thought I did, yeah, some water. Okay, got too much stuff here. So we're going to see how much this holds. Those are ounces. So I put water almost to the top in here, and we'll just dump it out and see. Alright, so it's just over 8 ounces, so it might hold 10 if it was completely full. Oop. And I made some decals with, I'm going to peel that little stopper off here. Made some decals with my Cricut for these, just out of some Oracal that I had. Where is that tool? Maybe. There we go. So what did I say, 8 ounces? So if you filled it all the way to the top, it might hold 10. So I have one for prime time, and I have my prime time here that I haven't opened. And then I have these 4-ounce bottles that I got on Amazon, and everyone is putting their pop of color in them. And so like I did this one already, and I have a label maker, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So this one's lemon meringue. Of course, the pop of color is now called chalk paint. It's the same thing, same company, and I was able to pull the sticker off of the jar and put it on here. So I'm just gonna let you watch me do it. Again, the bottles are from Amazon. So here's like the muted plum. And everyone's saying to save the jars, clean them out, and you can use them for like custom colors that you mix up and stuff. So I haven't cleaned that one out yet, but I've saved it. But putting them in the squeezy bottles just helps when you're trying to paint your tumbler or whatever. Also, sometimes the lids can kind of get stuck, so it kind of eliminates that. So I have made labels with this label maker. So I've had this forever. It's called a P-Touch. I think it's made by Brother. Yeah. And so this one is quite large. They have smaller ones. It plugs in, it has batteries. And there is, let's see if we can open it, this little cartridge of the label itself. So you can turn it on, type out. It has some different fonts. Type out what you need, and once you get it ready, you hit this print button, and your label spits out over here. And so there's different colors you can get of the labels. There's different sizes you can do on the fonts, things like that. You just cut it, turn it off to save your battery. So these are P-Touch. They have smaller ones. They also have some I've seen lately that are like not even a quarter of this size, and you can Bluetooth to your phone. And I don't know if there's an app, but you can type what you want from your phone, and it will pop out in the decal. That one's many years old. So so I've made all of these that I've gotten for the pop of color. You can see I've somehow made my font larger. I didn't realize it. Where is the Woodsonite? And French blue. Okay, so let's get to filling these. And so what I've been doing and trying to not have as much of a mess is I've been taking some of the Dixie cups and a little bit of water on my worktop. And trying to cut them down to make like a little funnel to help with the pouring of the color. Alright, getting everything organized. So there's not the decal on the pop of color. I don't think it's on the chalk paint either. Does not have the color on it. So this is just a generic decal right here. So I made my own. That's what the label maker was for. All right, so I'm gonna shake it up really good before I start to get ready to pour. And then I have a bunch of these paper wonder if I could just do, I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. So I have a bunch of these paper cups. And some people like Misty Leonard, she's super good at just everything she does. She's able to just pour, and I can try to do that, pour without having a funnel. So we can try that first, see how messy I get with that. Get the paper towel down. Alright. Of course it's not from an angle, but so that's the color of wet sand. Literally looks like wet sand. And we'll see here. I don't know if I can Try to kind of not make a huge mess, but maybe get up here so you can see. Yeah, that went a lot better than I thought it would. Oop. So there's quite a bit left in the container. So you can like put the lid back on. Maybe like set it somewhere so that it will try to kind of fall to the side. You can try to get more out. There's like little baby spatulas that you can use. Some people just, you know, say, well, that's good enough. So you can see the 4 ounce in the tub. This one is 4 ounces. Fills up these bottles perfectly. So I'm going to put the lid on so I don't spill it. There we go. So now we want to take this label. And so I just have some fingernails. If you don't have any nails, you can try to use, where did my thing go? Try to use one of these as the Cricut. Try to get that started. So I've had real good luck so far. I've done like 2 or 3 of these already. So just slowly pull, and you can even heat it up too a little bit if you needed to, but I haven't had that need just yet. So I like to keep this part that says 4 ounce in the pop of color, and I ended up trimming off this. I don't put that on because it's too much to go around all of the bottle. And it will want to curl back on itself. So if you just want to cut it now to try to keep it from curling back on itself. And then you just try to put it on as straight as you can. Here we go. And then my decal, wet sand, these in the P-Touch, they just in the center. Pulls off the backing. And then I like to stick it down here at the bottom because here in the middle is where the plastic squishes. So if you put it down here, it might not squish the label, the decal, whatever you want to call it. So there's one. And I didn't make much of a mess at all. There's just a little bit from where I wiped the top of the bottle. So that's what we got. So we got a bunch more. We're going to put that to the side. So most of these pops of color I get in my craft crate. So Ashley has this website called acraftcrate.com, and she puts together monthly fun packages of projects to do, and she sends you all most of the supplies that you need. And so a lot of times these include a pop of color to help make the design. So I slowly build up my pop of color collection over time. So if you want to make a decal or a funnel, what I do is I cut one of these Dixie cups, and then I cut part of it off like that, and I get some Scotch tape, and I kind of curl it up into a funnel. Make sure the funnel can fit into the paint bottle. Get a piece of tape. Tape that funnel together. And then you have a little bit bigger of an opening. And then you can just throw this away when you're finished. So it's no cleanup, you're not wasting a baby wipe or anything. So we're going to do this Old Army green. We're going to see how well I can pour. I'm probably going to do a worse job with this than I did without the funnel. Alright, let's see. So for those of you who overthink things like I do, you may not really need the funnel. So I made a little bit of a mess. So I'm going to take this, put that in the trash, and put my lid on. Put my lid on this here. And then work on getting the decal off and punch it back down. So the decal is made out of some sort of plastic or something, so thankfully I haven't had it tearing yet, knock on wood. Like some of the more papery decals can end up tearing. Trim that. Put that on the bottle. And then get my P-Touch decal. And again, I put the decal, try to put the decal toward the bottom. Ta-da! That's another one. So you can see this can go pretty quickly, and it's not really that messy. Okay, so the big one that I might have trouble with is the prime time, because I ordered this giant can. So I want to shake it up really good because it's been sitting in here. And I want to say I got one of these sizes in one of the craft crates, but it was broken, unfortunately. But I had just gotten this in, so I was like, well, I don't really need it. It's not like I'm going to run out anytime soon. So now that it's nice and warm and I can actually spray paint, now I'm opening my prime time. The way things work. Okay, so I don't know what these are. I guess, things to keep the lid on. The first quart of Primetime that I ordered, UPS like must have made a mess with it, because they said they just destroyed it, and I had to contact Counterculture to get them to send me another one. So I don't know what they did to it in the shipping, because it is really, really shipped really well. It's in like this styrofoam container that's made for this size can. I mean, it is packaged super well. So I don't know what on earth UPS did to tear it up. So okay, so let's see here. Trying to get some things out of my way. All right, let's open this can. But yeah, CCDIY does everything possible to have this shipped in super high quality. Here we go. Don't fall. Probably shouldn't have put you there. Okay, so now getting this in here might be trickier, so I do have a funnel for that. So this is just a funnel I bought probably at like Walmart at some point. You know, just a funnel at Dollar Tree. And so I'm going to try to successfully pour it into here. Just trying to think, I might do another. While I'm at it, I might pour some more into here, and then that way maybe I don't have to go back into the can at all. So we'll see. All right. So I don't think I'm going to be able to hold it up, just because it's kind of heavy and I'd like to keep it flat. But hopefully y'all can see. Try to do it up here at an angle. All right, and I have paper towel. I need a wipe. All right, let's pray I don't make a mess. This stuff's thick. It's gonna take a minute. So if you don't know what Primetime is, it is from Counterculture, CCDIY, counterculturediy.com. And you can use it as a base coat on things, on your art projects. And it's great because a lot of people don't have anywhere to spray paint, or it's been too cold to spray paint. So having that option is really nice. So there is some working tips that are kind of best practices when using it. Like not too thick of a coat, and some people like to kind of moisten their brushes beforehand. You can see that. So the funnel is actually hindering me on the other bottle. Just, it's so thick, it's having a hard time going through that little bitty so we're just going to try to pour directly. So this will be nice, I don't have to go back to this can. Make a little mess. Still quite a bit in there. My room was a little bit warmer. Might go a little faster. Alright, so got a little bit of a mess. Not as bad as it could have been. Okay, so whew. Alright. I'm gonna put my lid on the big Mamba Jamba. I think that was the lid. Now I don't know where the lid is to that. I think these are all the same size lids. Okay. So, trying to see if I had a spatula type. This is a spatula for sure. See if we can get any more out of this. I'm gonna make a big mess, but there's a good ounce or two left in this can. I might even, you stay right there. Might even put some prime time in one of these bottles to make room. Okay, so that's going to open up a little bit of room in here for me to hopefully get the rest out of this can. And then I don't have to worry about this can ever again. Point you back down. There you go, so you can kind of see. Oh, looks like there's a little rust spot down there. I think I need to stop because it's getting the paint rusty. So I'm going to stop, call it a win, and just put the lid back on and dispose of that properly. Clean off my little spatula. Actually, the rust spot looks like it may be on my spatula. No. No. No, that's glitter. Alright, so let's put the lid on it. Good enough for now. Alright, let's clean up the jar. Whew. Alright, so that's why I had put that off for so long, was I did not want to deal with that giant can of Prime Time. So they do sell smaller, like 4 ounces of Prime Time, and they may have other sizes, but of course the best value for your money is buying the larger one, the larger container. Just cleaning up just a smidge. All right. I think my hands are dirtier than anything now. So the Prime Time is kind of a chalk paint, but it's really a priming paint. Put my lid on. And I'm good to go. I got 4 ounce here. I got, what did I say? This is about 10 ounces. Yeah. And then this is about 22 ounces, I believe. So, so I can use this to refill the other ones when needed, and I don't have to go back to that giant can. I need to make a label for both of those. All right. So that was about all that I had. I mean, I have more to do, and I might just stay on if you wanted to watch. But feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and I'll try to put a link to everything I used in the description. And yeah, so we got 3 different sizes of bottles. These are honey bottles on Amazon. These are the larger ones. I was going to put my epoxy in these larger ones too. So I got some of Mr. Nola's new thing. It is their Speed Dry. Haven't used it, haven't even opened it. Speed Dry Epoxy. Mr. Nola had a birthday party sale a few weeks ago. And everything was 20% off, so I bit the bullet, decided I would try it. Alright, so we're going to do part B first. I already made a label. So I made little labels for the caps too. Mr. Nola Speed Dry Part A. Mr. Nola Speed Dry Part B. We'll put those on after I fill them in case I make a big mess. But I am going to go ahead and put the labels on the lids right now. And this is just a tool that's in the Cricut tool. When you buy, there's like a kit you can buy, like five standard tools with Cricut, and that's one of them. It's like a little spatula thingy, scraper thing. Part A goes over here, part B. So it wasn't all fancy labeling when I first went to these bottles. If you watched the other video, I just was using Sharpies. So now I'm super fancy. Okay, so there's part B. And this has been sitting in my room for a while. It's kind of gotten cold in here and then warm again. So hopefully it'll flow smooth enough to pour into that. And we're doing part B. Usually the part B, the lid is black. And so the word black starts with a B. So that's how I remember. Not always is that the case. So you might check it because there's probably an exception to that rule. And I don't want you to mix up your epoxy because you assumed it was always the case. Okay, so yeah, it does kind of smell like cleaner. Everyone says it kind of smells like cleaner. I don't want to put my nose super close to it, but and then see if I can angle you just a little bit so you can see. The wide mouth of these makes it pretty easy to feel. So this stuff is hard to the touch in under 4 hours, I believe, and you can use it as all layers, even your final. And also there's no VOCs and no PPE is required, which I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, but you can use it indoors. This bottle is heavy. Oop. Sorry about that, guys. Oop, making a mess, trying to adjust the camera. No, you probably can't see it all. So of course air has to go back into the big jug to allow more to flow out. Alright. Did make a little bit of a mess. The lid on. And then I'm going to put this to the side so that I don't accidentally use it again and make 2 B's with the wrong label. Alright, let's see if we can get some of this mess off. Sticky, goopy mess. I haven't used this yet on anything, but I believe they said that it's thicker than a lot of other epoxies, so you don't have to use as much, I believe. Always do lots of research because every epoxy kind of behaves different, has different different ways that it likes the attention. Some of them like a super warm room, some of them cannot work under lots of humidity, things like that. Make sure to keep that good and clean so it doesn't gunk up my lid. I think a lot of that just looked like it was on the outside. We're doing part B. So there we go. See, that's on the inside. I thought it was on the outside. Okay, so let's get the decal on. And I can make larger ones, but just wanted to get these. I'll probably use my Cricut Mr. Nola. Speed dry. It's also might be a good idea to date when you bought the epoxy, when you opened it, because they do have a shelf life. Speed dry. And I have an epoxy comparison guide on my website, rockcitytumblers.com. If you scroll to the very bottom, you'll see a little link to click on that says epoxy comparison chart. And it shows like the price and the price after any discounts that I may have been able to find, and how much the average cost of that epoxy on a cup, on a tumbler. And that's guessing that you use 100 mLs on a tumbler, which is a lot. But after you do 3 coats, typically 3 coats of epoxy, and your waste, you know, 300 might be, 100 mils might be a good guesstimate. So, but so you can see, and most of the time it's within $1 difference of each other. Where the cost of epoxy starts to run up is when you buy smaller containers. You don't get as much bang for your buck, and of course once you add the shipping for that smaller container, it really jumps the price of your epoxy up when you're counting it as a supply for your cup, your tumbler. All right, so that's part B. Let's do part A. There's part A. Maybe I can make less of a mess. And always check to make sure. I have seen, I don't think on this website, on this supplier, but I have seen a few of the other suppliers accidentally sent people two part B's or 2 part A's. Just a shipping glitch. So always check when you get it in to make sure that you did indeed get your part A and your part B. See what this one smells like. Yeah, that smell is like non-existent. The other one smells kind of like a real light duty cleaner. You know, I couldn't believe when they were saying that on the reviews. Okay, let's see. We can kind of angle you just a little bit so you can see. Like that. It's going to be in my way. There it goes. Ooh. Okay. Part A. Yeah, both of those are pretty thick. Need to lift some weights. And once you get them in the honey jars, something you might be able to do is to wrap them with something like an opaque bag, like a shipping bag, or keep them in a cabinet away from sunlight, and that'll help keep the epoxy from turning yellow sooner if there's no sunlight shining on it, because of course the honey jars are clear. But yeah, there's like very little smell from what I'm smelling. Of course, once you start to mix it up and it starts to get the chemical reaction, it might start to smell a little bit more. Come on. Boy, it is thick. And a lot of people will use the FIFO jars, the first in, first out. Kind of like those jars you see, well, they like the jars you see at Subway, where they use them to use the mayonnaise and mustard and ketchup and stuff. But for me, those ended up leaking. The epoxy can kind of leach some of that plastic, and these, since they sit upright, the epoxy seems to be doing better on them. And it's the silicone that can leach when it's sitting on its end. So, alright, so there's part A. Did a lot better, a lot messier, less messier on that one. Put my decal on it. And I think I'm done with the all for the night. I still have work to do, but I've been putting it off because I wanted to make this video, and now I can get all this stuff out of my way and actually get real work done, because I'm a procrastinator. Speed dry. And again, I'll put all the comments or the links to this stuff in the details below. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But feel free to put a comment. You can message me. I'm on Facebook, Rock City Tumblers, all that fun stuff. I'm here to help. Alright. We will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Bye.